Hey guys, I'm Jeremiah with Viking Armament. I'm the gunsmith, and we wanted to put together a cleaning video for you guys. We've had lots of people call and ask what our procedure is. So these are the techniques and tips that I've used over the past 20 years of building and cleaning guns. You know, and there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat, so to speak, and this is just my personal way that I like to do it. So I'm gonna basically walk you guys through step by step on how I like to do it and kind of, you know, show you how it's done. So obviously, first of all, we want to make sure that the firearm is empty. So we're going to open the bolt. I'm going to remove the bolt. We're going to check the breech, make sure it's empty, visually inspect it. Okay, there's nothing in it. This rifle has a suppressor on it, so I'm going to take the suppressor off. I don't want to put it, you know, push any sort of solvent or, you know, patches into the suppressor and cause a barrel obstruction. So we're going to take this off. Okay, so that's removed. First step is having a good bore guide. You don't have to get crazy with the bore guide, just something to keep most of the stuff out of the chamber. So we're going to insert the bore guide into the chamber, make sure it locks down tight. This is one of our rifles, so it has a folding buttstock, so I'm going to remove the buttstock out of the way to give me a little more room. I recommend a quality cleaning rod, something that is not metal, something either Teflon coated or carbon fiber. For this particular cleaning session, I'm going to use a nylon brush. I don't personally like brass jags, and I never use steel brushes. So this is an undersized brush. This is a 300 WSM, and this is a 7mm brush. So first step is I'm going to insert the brush and rod into the barrel, and I'm going to check to make sure that the rod does not come past the muzzle. And I have it pre-marked here with a piece of tape so that I can push the rod up to the very tip of the muzzle and not exit, and then bring it back for this specific cleaning procedure. That is critical. Never ever bring something back into the muzzle of the barrel. That can cause lots of issues. You can round the crown over, you can damage the crown, you can have an excellent shooting rifle, and you do that and you can have horrible accuracy issues instantly. So now that the rod is marked, we are going to be using JB bore paste non-embedding bore cleaner compound and Kroil. This Kroil is a penetrating oil. Appropriate size patches for 30 caliber. So we are going to set it up, and the first step in the patch process is to take the patch and wrap it around the brush. Okay, so we're going to wrap it around, make it nice and tight, like that. We're going to take the JB bore paste non-embedding compound. We are going to put a dab on your finger, and then we are going to apply that to the patch on the first half. You know, fairly liberally. You know, get it nice and thick. Then we're going to take the Kroil, and we are going to soak the patch all the way through. Okay, so now we are going to insert the rod and the brush patch, all this stuff. Hold it pretty firm. Then we're going to come up to our mark and bring it back. Now sometimes it's a little stiff on the first one. And then I like to do 10 strokes per patch. So nice and dirty, you know, comes out pretty nasty on the first patch. So in the procedure, I would then repeat this process anywhere from 3 to 4 patches, using the same procedure, applying the JB bore paste non-embedding compound to the patch with the Kroil, scrub it out, 10 strokes per patch. I found that that's a pretty effective way to go. You can go as much as 6 or 7 patches. That would be an extremely deep clean, and you will find that if you clean it that deep, you will need to shoot quite a few fouling rounds through the barrel to get it back to 0. The JB bore paste does an excellent job of really pulling the carbon and copper out of the barrel, in my opinion. So once we've, theoretically done more patches, I'm not going to do that to this particular gun at this time. I'm going to take multiple dry patches, wrap it around the brush in the exact same fashion with nothing on it. And I'm going to run it through, and I'm going to very carefully exit the muzzle. So I exit the muzzle, I remove the patch, and I remove the brush. I bring the bear rod back through, reinstall the brush, and then I'll run several more through. Anywhere from 3 to 5 is sufficient, in my opinion. So I'm gonna run 2 more through it here in the same procedure. Push it all out, take it off, take the brush off, bring it back through. We'll do it one more time. So that's pretty cleaned out. So now I like to degrease the chamber. I feel that it is very important to always thoroughly degrease your chamber after you've cleaned a barrel. 2 reasons. Sometimes there's contaminants on the brass, and sometimes you can get contaminants in the chamber from the cleaning procedure. And what can happen is, if you don't degrease the chamber, when you fire the cartridge cannot expand in the chamber and stick to the chamber walls. It'll slide down whatever the contaminants are in the chamber wall and slam against the bolt face, which then makes for heavy bolt lift, extractor marks, different things of that nature. So I like to thoroughly degrease the chamber. So I'm going to remove the bore guide, and I like to take a half piece of paper towel. Okay, it's a 1/4 piece of paper towel. And I'm going to put it onto my brush like this in the center, and I'm going to wad it up in a cone shape so that it expands nicely into the chamber. And then I like to take brake cleaner, of all things. I found brake cleaner is by far the best way to degrease, in tight areas like a chamber. So I'm going to very carefully apply some brake cleaner to this piece of paper towel. Plenty. And then you're going to very delicately insert it in through the action and into the chamber and twist. So we're not going into the barrel, we're only doing the chamber and the neck. And just kind of twist it around and then pull it out. And it's probably hard to see, but there is definitely some nasty stuff on this piece of paper towel. There's some brass residue, carbon residue, pretty ugly stuff. So once we do that, I'm going to take another 1/4 piece of paper towel, do the exact same thing, and just dry it out, just to make sure that everything is clean. Yeah, nice and clean. So once we do that, I'm going to insert the bore guide again, and I'm going to push a couple of more dry patches through the barrel just to make sure that there is absolutely nothing in the barrel after cleaning the chamber. So once again, wrap the patch around the brush like that, slide it all the way through, out the end, remove the patch, and then remove the brush, pull it all the way through, and I'm going to do it one more time. And we are done. Now, I always recommend, once you're done, do a visual inspection. You know, even if it's just looking down the chamber in the bore, just to make sure, always make sure that you never have a barrel obstruction after cleaning. It only takes a couple of seconds. Make sure that it looks good. You know, if you can visually see something, you're gonna have to do something about it. But generally speaking, if you follow these procedures, you shouldn't have an issue. So we're gonna go ahead and put the bolt back in. And we're gonna install the suppressor again. And that's how I like to do it.